But this other issue I want to bring up is a problem too. Why are black men being lectured to? Why are black men being belittled in ways that no other voting group? Now, a lot of love for former President.
But just strictly talking about Barrack and his response to black men, that's not belittling. That's a serious conversation. He's not calling them names or making them feel less of a human being. He's being honest and saying, hey, I need to speak to my black folks right now. And more specifically, my black men out there. I just got a question, an honest question with you. Are you the individual that feels that you can't vote for a woman? And if that's you, why? Like, are we so stuck in our insecurities that you can't vote for a woman to be president, not to be your second wife, not to be your best friend or something, like to just go in to that White House and handle business, all right? Why are you so insecure? That's a real honest question, because me being a black man, strong black man, trust me, a lot can't compare. I don't care who's in that office. I don't care if it's an old white man, a young black woman, or any sexuality in between. As long as you're taking care of business as you're supposed to, you're allowing me to make more money, have more opportunities, and just allowing me to take care of my family, and then my kids can grow up and flourish in this America. I don't care. I don't care if you have 30 sex changes while you're president. I don't care. It actually probably make a funny reality show. Do it. Don't care. But if you are not judging her or critiquing her because of her policies or whatever she stands for, then go for it. That's a conversation I would love to have. Go ahead, jump in the Discord and let's have that conversation. But if the first thing you say is because she's a woman, man, that's the most insecure, sensitive thing I've never even heard a woman say. A woman, I can see saying that. But a man who's supposed to be standing on business, you saying you can't vote because she's a woman? Man, that sounds really woman to me. That sounds like you got some high heels on right now. But I'm not the only one who thinks that, right? Because Mr. Barack Obama himself, right, the first black president to step into that White House, got something to say. So let's go ahead and let him talk.
Barack Obama is back on the campaign trail, and he's making the case against Donald Trump. But before his guest feature in Pennsylvania, Obama made a surprise visit to Kamala Harris's campaign headquarters in Pittsburgh. It was there that he got candid, maybe a little too candid if you are in the vice president's inner circle tonight. He warned that Harris is underperforming him with black voters, and he had a message specifically for black men.
Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for them. So now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you?
What?
Because
Hey, Brock, no. What are you talking about? There's not a single black person that would vote for another person who looks down on them, who demonizes and marginalizes them and their people on a daily basis. What, Barack Obama? No, nuh-uh. I know black folks are not a monolith. I know we're not all, but we're not that stupid. We're not. Come on, guys. We're not that stupid to vote for someone who don't like your black ass. We're not that stupid, right? Right? Come on. No, Brock. No, I refuse to believe that.
denigrating you?
Oh, come on.
Because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is. Putting women down.
How you gonna let a politician tell you how to be a man? So disrespecting women, that's being a man. Man, that's the most punkish, sensitive thing I've ever heard. If that's what you, man, holy.
That's not acceptable. CNN political commentator Errol Lewis is in our fifth seat for this conversation. Errol, I guess he knew the cameras were there. It was an unscheduled stop, but that message was so pointed. In addition to him making it very clear, Kamala Harris is not doing what she needs to do with this core Democratic constituency.
That's right. Although he is asking her, let's be clear, to go over a very high hurdle. Barack Obama got historic levels of black voter registration and turnout and support, and he did it twice. It was almost inevitable that it was going to swing more toward the long-term average of a handful of black voters.
Can I interrupt you for just a moment, just to show you something here? Because we went back, looked at 2020 exit polls. Biden got 92% of the black vote. Right now, according to Quinnipiac, this is in Pennsylvania, according to Quinnipiac, Harris is at 78. It's a big gap in this state right now. And that can be closed because Biden is not Barack Obama.
Biden is not, he was Barack Obama's running mate. Right. Certainly some spillover there. But you cannot ask of every black candidate in the post-Obama era, you've got to come up with 92% of the black vote every time. That is just not a reasonable assumption. If the margins are as tight as they're likely to be in this race, that's going to cause you problems in Pittsburgh and in Philadelphia and in Detroit and in Milwaukee and in Atlanta and in all of the swing states. And so they're going to have to come up with a strategy. Now, Barack Obama is trying one strategy, trying to sort of connect with some of the black male voters who they think have been drifting away and are likely to drift away in these last 26 days. I'm not sure that's the right message. I mean, they have to try something.
It's a lot of pressure. I mean, this is not a nice message. This is a very stern message.
Let me ask you a question, Abby and Nina. Let me say, I find it very interesting that we're trying to reach out to white men. We're trying to reach out to black men. The people whose rights are really on the ballot right now are women. And we're begging all these men to pay attention to us and to care enough about this election, to vote, to come out, to support us. I feel like Barack going on the campaign trail right now makes perfect sense. Of course, right? He's a top surrogate for Democrats. He should be out there doing the work right now. I think it's so amazing to me that with women's rights on the line, we're spending so much time focusing on making sure men care.
Okay, so now when she decided to speak, I don't know what provoked that part of the conversation to come out. I thought the question was black voters, because the percentage is just swinging like awkwardly, especially with who's running for president as a Republican. Like, it's just brings up conversation on why black people who voted overwhelmingly for Barack Obama, 95% in 2008 and 88% in 2012, and now Kamala Harris is struggling. So it's a conversation that needs to be made there. But she's talking about women's rights. That's a whole separate, different conversation. We should be talking about why are women still supporting Donald Trump, and he wants to take away your rights. That has nothing to do with the topic at hand. Maybe we should have that conversation on that. But, to each his own, I guess.
I don't know. It's because men are the problem right now for Kamala Harris.
I mean, women.
And by the way, Governor Walz, according to Politico, is going to be going out on a mentor, literally a tour of media to appeal to men.
They need to appeal to the needs of the voters. And so when I was a delegate for President Obama in both of his elections in Ohio, right now the vice president is down 11 points in Ohio, even though I fully expect President Trump to take Ohio as he did twice, but to be down 11 points compared to President Biden, that is a problem. But this other issue I want to bring up is a problem too. Why are black men being lectured to? Why are black men being belittled in ways that no other voting group? Now, a lot of love for former President.
Okay, so let me answer her first question. One, I don't understand the belittling part. Like, maybe she's heard some other conversations from some other people, but just strictly talking about Barrack and his response to black men, that's not belittling. That's a serious conversation. He's not calling them names or making them feel less of a human being. He's being honest and saying, hey, why are we just not voting for someone because of something that person can't control? Kamala Harris didn't choose to be a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's who she is, and you're not voting for her because she's a woman, and not really, and you're using that as an, or you're using, fake policy disagreements to cover up. You just don't want to vote for her because she's a woman. That's essentially what his statement was about. So I don't understand when she says belittling. He's speaking as if, how guys do speak, is straight up, straightforward, ain't holding no punches, ain't beating around the bush, ain't trying to sweeten it up for you. Let's have a conversation. And it's a serious conversation. So she kind of missed me with that one.
Obama. But for him to single out black men is wrong. And some of the black men that I have talked to have their reasons why they want to vote a different way. And even if some of us may not like that, we have to respect it. So unless President Barrack...
Okay. Once again, let's be 100% honest here. All right. I'm still in here. You know what I'm saying? I don't live in some excluded, gated off community. Like, I work with black folks. I see black folks all day, every day. We had conversation, and I kid you not, maybe 20 of the conversations I've had in regards to voting for a woman, 15 of those conversations would go, I'm not voting for a woman. They don't know nothing about politics. They could probably care less about the details of her policy. She's a woman. So I ain't voting because women are sensitive. Women just get emotional, and women blah, blah, blah. Like, that's their only argument. So, of course, the individuals that are a little bit more inclined in politics and have a little bit more understanding about policies, cool. That's not their argument, is because she's a woman. But that's literally what Obama is addressing, is those individuals who don't want to vote for Kamala because she's a woman. That's it. So I don't know if Nina got the conversation mixed up, or I wouldn't guess she's pivoting because she doesn't want to like directly challenge that conversation. But I don't understand what she's talking. I understand what she's talking about, but that's not the conversation at hand.
Barack Obama is going to go out and lecture every other group of men from other identity groups. My message for Democrats is don't bring it here to black men who, by and large, don't vote much differently from black women. And what, as a politician...
All right. I understand. Speak to all men from all races. Okay, we get that. But as black folks, and I can't speak for any other race because I'm black, I'm a nigga. Like, I can't assume other races have these type of internal conversations. But being black, and if I've had these conversations with other black folks, and it's the same notion of we as black folks have to get our stuff together. So let's have that black on black conversation. And that's what Barrack, out of all people, he knows he needs to have that conversations with black folks. Yes, we can have a conversation with everybody from every race, every creed, every color. Yes, I get it. But if you black and you're in a position of a leadership type of role in the black community in America, have those conversations with black folks. Now, I wish we could have other conversations that I don't know if he's willing to have, but at least he knows and acknowledges he's black and he has a responsibility to have those black conversations with real black people. Because I'm pretty sure to some certain extent, other races have those other one-on-one conversations with each other. I'm just assuming. But I like what he did.
We should be trying to get all voters to vote. And hopefully there are a few good men out there who do care about the stripping away of some of women's bodily autonomy. But this is wrong for President Obama. It is a wrong course for the Harris-Walz campaign to lay at the feet of black men when they have their reasons. In 2020, the vice president was labeled a cop, as we know.
But do you think, sorry to interrupt you, Nina, but do you think he's right? That one of the reasons is because they don't like the idea of a woman.
It might be some.
in the White
Listen,
House?
black men are socialized in the same society as any other man. So yes, is misogyny maybe?
I don't know. I would highly disagree with that. Black men are not in the same culture as white men, as Asian men, as Mexican men. Like, it's a different subculture that we grow up in. Like, I didn't grow up like another white man did in 1987. You know what I'm saying? It's different perspective, different mindsets, different lessons and things we had to go through that is separate from everyone else. Like, it's pretty simple if you know the history of America. So once again, like, Nina, like, normally you understand. I like your positions on a lot of things, but this right here, I don't understand. It's just real simple. And like I said, I had plenty of conversations with black men, and 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, she's a woman. I can't have no woman as a president because she's going to be emotional, starting wars and whatever excuses. Like, that's a real conversation a lot of men have. So come on now.
Be a part of it. But again, is President Obama and is the Harris-Walz campaign going to lecture other male groups in the same way that they're lecturing
This is
black
not
men?
just about.
I don't think so.
It's not just about Pennsylvania. It's not just about men. It sounds like there's a concern that there's a broad problem for Vice President Harris with the blue wall. It's basically, according to the poll of polls, no clear leader, a tied race essentially in all 3 of these battleground states. You know, I don't know that this is because Trump has run a great campaign, but I mean,
I don't think it's that.
I mean, maybe he has, maybe he hasn't, but he has struggled against Kamala Harris in this early stage, but he's still kept this race pretty tight and maybe has made some inroads in the last couple of weeks.
Oh, absolutely, he has. Vice President Harris's high watermark was about a week and a half after the convention. It's slowly been trickling down. That Quinnipiac poll showing the vice president down in Michigan and Wisconsin.
All right, to be honest, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I care about polls. Have you guys ever heard me talk about polls could sometimes indicate some swing in some whatever state for whatever reason? No one ain't never polled me about questions that they always want to post on here. Ever since, who was it? Hillary Clinton and Trump the first time. Ever since that, I just turned away from polls. Like, I'm turned off by polls because there's so many polling institutions that will, like, in the same state, will have Trump up by like 20 points, but in that same state, another polling agency will have Kamala Harris up by 20. So it's like, I don't really care. Let's just wait to see what happens on voting day, because arguing numbers that people could easily manipulate and make up, like, I'm not going to do that. But the real question is, if you black and you don't want to vote for, and I guess this could be for any man out there, but, you know, once again, I want to have that 101 heart-to-heart conversation with my brothers out there. Please don't be that caveman type of thinking, like, I'm men, I vote for men only. Like, don't be that stupid. You know, I was going to try to figure out like some clever way no. don't be that ignorant, bro. Like, you need to make sure you're man enough to stand on business and make sure that you can provide for your family. I know you're out there working hard, but do not compromise your future because of a woman. Let alone vote for someone who could care less about your black ass and your black ass people out there. Why would you do that? It literally blows my mind. Like, why? You know, and don't try to sugar it up by like, oh no, he gave us checks. Like, Nick, really? So a racist, white supremacy talking point person just has to throw a little money at you to get your vote? But then just a couple of days ago, he's talking about genetics and how, you know, some genetics kind of determine a person. I mean, just read the little history books, bro. They thought black people literally had a mental condition because they didn't want to be enslaved. And that was their science back in the day. They thought black folks, after Emancipation Proclamation, they thought black folks couldn't make it by themselves because they needed to have someone in control of them. So they literally thought we would just die away within a couple of years. So you want to vote for that person who wholeheartedly, or like they like to say, throatedly, whatever they say, you're going to vote for that person who believes that about you? I don't know, man. That sounds like you got a lot of insecurities, a lot of self-hate, and you need to figure that out before you even dive into conversations about politics. But once again, I'm going to leave it at that. If you guys have any disagreements with me whatsoever, you want to have that conversation, one, let me know in the comments down below or join the Discord so we can have that one-on-one conversation. And like always, let's have that conversation.